So our second presenter asked the question, can all this social media stuff really make a difference to your bottom line? Her answer is yes. Tracy Warren is a social media superhero, able to establish reputations online and create communities and build relationships. And she wants to change the way we use social media to market our businesses. Ms. Warren believes that one of the worst things to be on social media is forgettable. She wants to improve the way we as entrepreneurs show up to be seen and heard, so we are not just memorable, but unforgettable. Tracy is known for her tell-it-like-it-is style that is both funny and full of humor. Omar has been heard to say she scares some guys. There is no mistaking, however, the innovative and creative ways Tracy creates communities for her clients. Communities that allows them to focus on building relationships offline so they can make more money. Teaching us about Nurture Our Network, creating social media that sells, please help me welcome Tracy Warren.
I'm sure you're all familiar with the adage, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Would you all agree? I might say that social media insanity is doing what everyone else is doing and expecting to get visibility. Like this, share this. Wrong answer. People want to do business with people. And yet something remarkable happened about 8 years ago. This social media being came into being. And just like everything else, marketers ruin everything. So they added the word marketing to the end. So it became social media marketing. And market they did. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Ooh, and you know what? You can even use a platform that will allow you to broadcast your same craptastic message on 50 different platforms all at one time. And those same marketers, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months later, were scratching their heads. Why isn't this working? And it wasn't working because they forgot the first word in social media, that it's supposed to be social. I was having coffee with a friend yesterday, and he said to me, you know, I'm not exactly sure what you do for work, but I know that a lot of people like you and what you do. Okay, that's fair. I like that. People like me. It works for me. And I told him, I said, that's great, but I never want to be so big that I can't do this. That I'm a social media person, and I love connecting on Twitter and Facebook and all that, but if I can't make eye contact with people during the day, that's just not a good thing for me. Earlier today, Carol said she's an extrovert and she was stuck in bed for 3 months. That would be the end of me because I need that person-to-person contact. I promised you a few things today. I want to talk about champions and advocates, and it's actually perfect because somebody just talked about that a few minutes ago. She called them champions. Because you can't listen to everyone. You can't possibly listen to everyone. So she kind of teed me up for my talk about champions because she talked about creating lists. And Facebook actually made this so easy for us because now there's a see first feature. So my champions and advocates are all on see first, which means no matter when I log in, I will see what they've done. One of my champions and advocates is the next speaker today, Michelle. I see everything she does on social media. It's good. It's good. Okay, we're having a private conversation back here. Anyway. But I use those lists because I want to listen to my champions and advocates. And when I get to know my champions and advocates, then I know what moves them. And when I know what moves them, I can reward them the way they want to be rewarded. So I'll tell you a little story about Brian Trendler, because I can, and I have the mic. Brian, a few years back, gave me a referral. And I like receiving referrals. And I wanted to thank him, but I can't just, like the typical Seattle thing is to send a little $5 Starbucks card, thank you. But it's forgettable, right? Completely forgettable. Brian, as I'm sure most of you know, he's a total Star Wars geek. And one day he posted on his Facebook page a picture of a Millennium Falcon bottle opener. And all he wrote was, want. I'm like, okay. So I ordered it for him, sent it to him. Now, that makes my gift unforgettable. Hi, Brian. He's videotaping me right now. But think about that. And you can use your social media in a completely non-creepy stalkerish way to find out information about the people that are your champions and advocates. I mean, Pinterest, good night. I can find out what your favorite band is, I can find out so much about you and then thank you in a way that I'm going to be unforgettable. And if I'm unforgettable, then the next time you need whatever I provide, you're going to think of me. Because I didn't just send you a $5 Starbucks card. Now, for the record, I like Starbucks. So if any of you feel compelled, come get my card. I'll give you my address. I welcome any gift of Starbucks cards. Or we could get together and have coffee. I also wanted to tell you today how to create social media that sells. So let's start. Number 1, be social. I know, it's a stretch. But Bob Berg says that people will do business with those they know, like, and trust. And social media can either rapidly accelerate know, like, and trust, or it can bring it to a screeching halt. I also know that social media, when done well, can attract the absolute perfect client, and it can repel the right client too, which is brilliant because it saves me time as an entrepreneur. If I don't have to waste time with people who aren't my target market because somehow I said something that upset them, great. You're not my target market. Fine. It's actually perfect for me. So let's talk about know, like, and trust for a second. This is specifically for the ladies. Your profile photo should look like you in this decade. Just saying. Like when Rebecca walked in today, you're Rebecca, right? Yeah. I knew exactly who she was because I friended her on Facebook earlier this week and she looks just like her profile picture. But if you're meeting someone for the first time and you can't recognize them from their profile photo, that's breaking a little bit of that trust. Number 2, engage. I know, novel concept. Engagement is not shoving your crap down their throat all day long. I mean, Greg earlier said tweeting 5 to 10 times a day, 15 maybe. Great, but don't make it all like, read my blog, buy my stuff, read my blog. Engage in a conversation. And that can be as simple as asking a question. Even if you are sharing a blog post, maybe it's, which of these is impacting you the most? Like it's 9 things, blah, blah, blah. Like, I really like number 3. What do you think? Make it easy for people to engage. Don't ask me to tell you a story. I don't have time to tell you a story on Facebook. But ask me to share one word, I can do that, like this. Earlier, the gal talked about the like button. Liking is lazy. I could care less if you like my stuff. I don't care. Because I'm not going to go through and look at the 256 people who clicked like. But I'm going to read every single comment. And if you really want to engage, comment. Now I know some of you are thinking, well, if I comment, that means I get a notification, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you get a notification, but you know what else you get? Connection. Like real live, honest to goodness, we're having a talk about something that might be important. It might not be important, but it might be. Can I say something about cats and engagement? I could have used some of Gregor's slides in my presentation. It would have worked just fine. Unless you're a veterinarian or a groomer, your Facebook page should not be filled with pictures of cats. Because that's what I see people do. They post cats because cats are popular and they get engagement. But this is an opportunity for them to build know, like, and trust. What does a cat have to do with your speech coaching business? Typically, nothing. Okay, have I killed that one now? Number 3, listen. Listen. So earlier we were talking about Twitter, and Greg asked how many people in the room use Twitter, and it was about a third of the room. So I have a question to add. In this room, how many of you have a Twitter account but have never tweeted or have tweeted less than 10 times? Okay, that's a lot more than a third. And it's actually about 90%, maybe 80 to 90% of people on Twitter have tweeted less than 10 times. Something else to note, 75.6% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Or maybe it's 85.6, I'm not sure if I remember. But listen, you can use your social media profiles to listen to what other people are talking about. And that can serve a number of purposes. Maybe you're not sure what to talk about on your Facebook page. Let your audience tell you. Ask them questions that can help you form your content. We don't have to make all this stuff up. We can also listen, specifically on Twitter, to help us find content to post. Like, Twitter is the only live active search on the internet. Google and Bing and all of those other, they all give you popular results. So if I do a search for social media for business, I'm going to get an article that was written in 2009 because it's been read a bajillion times. But if I want to know what people are talking about this second, about whatever your topic is, I can go to Twitter and find out what they're talking about right now. What they're complaining about right now. Are they complaining about something that you might be able to solve? Probably. Now, that doesn't mean they complain about having a headache and you come in and say, well, I have the solution for you, but you could offer a solution that is, hey, I wrote a blog post about that might benefit you. Or my friend over here wrote a blog post about that might help you. That it doesn't have to be, like, I call that the pounce, right? I say something like, wow, I really have a headache, and somebody pounces and says, buy my stuff. No, my Facebook status never gives you permission to sell me something. Ever. Thank you. Thank you. And I won't, like, what in the world happened? Like, we, on social media, we do all this stuff that we would never do face-to-face. adding people to groups without their permission? What the heck is that? I don't need any more mascara. Any of you been added to a mascara Facebook group? Brian Trendler has been added to a mascara Facebook group. But listen and then respond. And the fourth thing is leverage. Leverage your content, first of all. You all are speakers. That tells me, whether you believe it or not, you have a ton of content. A ton. If you're not recording everything you say from the platform, you should be. You should be recording oh, I'm sorry, I just shoulded on you. I didn't mean to do that. I would suggest, if you're having conversations with prospects, I would record it. Because you drip out great, juicy content every time you're having one of those conversations that's full of passion and great information. And you're sharing your passion without saying the word passion. Like, I know what you're passionate about because you show me, not because you tell me. But leverage your content. If you write a blog post about 10 things, blah, 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 then you turn that into an email where you only put 5 in the email, and then you put read more, which links back to your website. That helps you create, that's another listening tool. Because if they click over, then I know, oh, my audience likes this. So I know I want to create more of that. Then those 10 points become 10 social media posts. Facebook, Twitter, etc. As speakers, if you have not checked out Periscope, I would highly, highly recommend it. And I'm not one of those social media people that says you should be everywhere, because I don't think that that's realistic. But Periscope is a live video streaming platform that at any moment when inspiration strikes, I can grab my iPad and I can start talking to my audience. And they're there. As soon as I post that I'm doing something, people are automatically listening and engaging with me on the spot. It's a brand new platform. It's only been around about 7 months. And it is hugely powerful. And I might also add, a little bit addictive. You can also leverage those champions and advocates. So the title of my talk is Nurture Your Network. So I have a list of about 25 to 30 people that I nurture. And sometimes my nurturing is online. So I comment on their blog post, or I share a Facebook post, but sometimes I call them, I pick up the telephone and actually call them to have a conversation about nothing. I'm not calling them because I want to sell them on something I'm about to sell. I'm just calling them to check in. Because you know what? That is also unforgettable. Because people they don't do that as much as they used to. I send real live handwritten greeting cards in the mail. Like, can you remember the last time you got a handwritten greeting card? But it makes me unforgettable. And so then I'm able to leverage that network that I'm nurturing. And I'm not nurturing them to manipulate them. That's not my point. But I'm nurturing them so when I do need something, I have people that I can ask because I've been taking care of them. I get people who ask me to share something who I haven't heard from for a year since the last time they asked me to share something. Like, yeah, I'm not interested. So when you're social, when you engage, when you listen, and you leverage, that's really when you can use social media to sell. That it's not about what time to post and crafting the exact right message, but it's about showing up as who you are, loud and proud like that lion that Gregor showed us. That is when you can be unforgettable.
thanks. Starbucks card.
Are you serious?